The business meeting of the North Kingstown School Committee. If I could ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for
which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Blackbrook?
Here.
Mrs. Hildebrand?
Here.
Mrs. Hoskins?
Here.
Mrs. Lima? Here. Mr. Mather?
Here.
Mrs. Schott? Are we there? Hello?
Hold on, she's here. She just needs to be
I
unmuted. Hold
didn't
on.
hear in the list.
Yep.
Hold on, I can take care of that. Why don't you go on and I'll find her here. Got her.
Mr. Sedor?
Gotta find her. Sorry, give me 1 second.
He's unable to make tonight's meeting.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Grace? I know
I'm here.
Thanks, Owen. We're just waiting on Sally. Mrs.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Schott?
here, I'm sorry, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Didn't speak.
That's okay, I fixed it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And if you could please call the calendar.
Sure. The next school committee business meeting will be Tuesday, April 27th, and then Tuesday, May 11th. And let's not forget our spring recess, the 19th and 23rd.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first items on our agenda today are two presentations. So we'll start with the school nutrition program update.
Mr. Blaswell, can we do a couple of recognitions first?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead if you have any.
So, Dr. Mansiri, I know you have a couple of items, and I have one.
Yes, I do. I have, for the high school, I have a few recognitions. The first two are, people might be familiar with Frederick Reamer from this side, I believe on NPR radio. We have two people in the high school that were actually broadcast. The first one is our own Deanna Boyd, the high school teacher, and in the English department, she was first recognized from her essay that she created on joy. And the second person is a student, a 10th grader, Annika Erickson. She was recognized for her essay on Dare to Imagine. And so both of them, if you go to the NPR website and you go to this, I believe, section, you'll see they're both there. And they're wonderful. I'm so proud. I just love that section. The next one is Michaela Young, Ella. So I'd like to recognize her for her achievements at Rhode Island Science and Engineering Fair this past March. Her project titled Humus Pollution, Comparing the Effects of Mineral and Chemical Components of Sunscreen on Brine Shrimp Hatching Rates, earned her Best in Fair recognition as one of the top 8 projects in the senior division. In addition, her project earned her special recognition from the University of Rhode Island, a NASA Earth Systems Award, the Narragansett Bay Commission, and the Rhode Island Science Teachers Association. Her project this year was a continuation of research she began last year, which also earned her Best in Fair recognition, again, at the Rhode Island Science and Engineering Fair, and the Governor's Award in March of 2020. Ella's passion and love of science is one of her outstanding characteristics, which has been nurtured and championed by her chemistry teacher, Mrs. Susan Erickson, who just happens to be Annika's mother, who I just recognized from the NPR. And then finally, we have our fine arts department at the high school always up to something. And this year, Lindsay Ann Burke Poster Contest, we had a couple of people that were recognized. Jacqueline Blair won first place and will receive a check for $1,000. Gabriella Neat won second place and will also receive a check for $500. Both students will receive a copy of their land-based poster, and congratulations to this year's winner and 9 of the participants.
You went to mute, Denise, just now.
To the very end we lost, and
The
it was
last 2 words.
I was letting somebody in and I hit you by mistake, sorry.
That's no problem. I saw the mute accidentally go on. It's quite all right. I just want to recognize Janice Stream. Did you hear me say Jacqueline and Gabriella?
Yes.
Okay. I just really, Janice Stream does so much marketing and outreach for her students, and I want to make sure that her name is in there as their art teacher, because she really feels like this is such an important contact, the vital awareness about domestic violence and abuse. So thank you very much for your time and attention. That's all I have for Dr.
Thank you.
And for me, in keeping with the tradition that we've come to know of introducing, new administrators in the district, I'm pleased to recommend tonight Allison Palladino become the next principal at Richford Middle School. Ms. Palladino has a deep resume of middle school teaching and leadership experience in curriculum, teacher coaching, and evaluation with the Portsmouth School Department and at RIDE. She's been an excellent addition at Richford Middle School as their assistant principal for the past 4 years, and most recently for the last month or two now as their interim principal. She was the top choice of our search committee, which was led by Dr. Mansiri and our Human Resources Director, Mr. Lally, and included representation from administration, teachers, and parents. And I would ask if we could move that item up. It's item 4E2 to do that vote up front tonight.
So if I have unanimous consent to the school committee, if there are no objections, we'll move item 4E2 up for consideration at this time. Anyone have an objection to doing that? Hearing no objections, I need a motion to approve item 4E2, please.
So moved.
I have a motion from Ms. Hoskins, second from Mr. Mather. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ms. Palladino. We're happy to have you.
Thank
We
you.
have been and we will be into the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to say that I feel lucky and I feel blessed to lead and learn in an amazing place like Woodford. It's been a great 4 years, and I am so excited to see where this goes in the future. Thank you all for your support. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay, so if there are no other recognitions, we can move on to our presentations. So the first was the school nutrition program update.
Yes, so I found Trish. She is showing up under her daughter's name. She had a little bit of issue, but we've got her here on her. I'm gonna allow her to screen share as well. But I'd like to start out with saying that Trish is not one for overly tooting her own horn, if you will. So I'm going to do that for her to start. This last year, our food service program has done an absolutely outstanding job. They have been working on site since shutdown. They worked, most of them worked all through the summer as well, helping our families in a very important area, and that's to help them with a little less stress for food insecurity. And Trish has not only done that with her team, but anytime that we've needed to make a change or move something around or pivot, Trish and her team have been right there to do that. And Trish has also done a lot of other partnerships in the community that she's going to tell you about tonight that are very valuable for the town of North Kingstown. So I'm going to stand right out there. I know Dr. J and Dr. Mansiri also are right there with me to say that the North Kingstown Food Service Program has done an outstanding job this past year through all of the difficulties, all of the changes, and all of the work that they had to do. So I am going to see if I can share. Actually, you know what? Mr. Blaswog, you will have to share. Yeah, and Savannah Martin, it says. Yeah.
What was it, sorry?
Savannah Martin.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah, there you go.
this will be easier. Now you should be good.
There she is. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Savannah, for your assistance.
No problem.
Mary, I don't have access to the presentation.
Oh, okay, so you
But
know
you
what?
do.
I can share it. I will pull it up here right now. Okay, I will come back here and I can share it now. Okay, go ahead, Trish.
Hey, thank you. Thank you all for having me. And it's time to talk feedable once again. I'm going to be going over the child nutrition operations, day-to-day access to meals, memberships, program investment, and just some recognition. So it's just interesting how the program's evolved, and we've always just been, bobbing and weaving like the Matrix all this time. And when I created this list to share with you, I was like, wow, I didn't even realize just how wide and deep we were. We're serving in the classrooms, cafeterias, gyms, hallways, outdoors, and at home. And we have pickup stations at the entrances and the exits of the buildings. We do distance learning, curbside pickup. We send meal kits home for weekends and vacations. And coming up after April vacation, the high school is going to have a new meal program, which will be, they're going to be able to take a hot lunch home as they go out the door. They'll be continuing to get their breakfast in the morning and right in the building, and then we will continue sending them home with the weekend meal packs. The community partnerships have really, we've really been working together well this year. We're on target to have sold 5,000 meals to the food pantry, Feed and Eat meals, for our vulnerable population, and it's about $25,000 in additional revenue. With the recreation program, we have previously done 2 playgrounds during the summer, but we're going to be doubling that and supplying breakfast and lunch for 4 playgrounds this summer. The Beechwood Center's just starting to get opened up and acclimated. We just sent our first delivery over there today. And we also worked with the emergency services with the vaccine clinics. So we've been busy. And we've really benefited actually from the operation with the breakfast in the classroom program. We serve from at least 5 times more breakfast now than we did prior to COVID. And for program investments, what I would like to do is replace our 2003 F450 truck. And then additionally, I'd like to elevate the high school cafeteria space. The furnishings are 20 years old, and this was something that we planned last year anyway. And with this opportunity, we just kind of stepped back and we looked at, it's such a beautiful space, and seating and furnishings have changed so much since we originally opened up 20 years ago. And so we're going to be able to, I take the floor plan and I have it into 3 sections. So this first section, if you look in the top left-hand corner, you're seeing like a counter. It's more like a high-top counter, and that's going to be running along the windows and with charging stations. And so we'll have hot spots in the cafeteria. Next to that one is it's a tabletop, but we have some wonderful old pictures of the high school original. I haven't actually seen them, I've just heard about them. They're over at the high school. We're gonna be able to do some fun tables, superimposing some of Raystown High School on it. And so nowadays we can just do laminates, we can customize it, and then this space is gonna have some, the capability to be used for meetings after school or just other times when we're not using it as a cafeteria. So it's gonna have a lot of wow factor. We are still going to have 70% of the seating in the cafeteria will have attached seating. So I'm not a custodian's nightmare. But the 30% that we have is going to be just fun and funky. It's going to have hot spots so kids can be charging their devices or using them. And by having the 70-30 seating plan, it's easy to manage and to keep the space clean. The other thing is it's going to be flexible furnishing, so everything's taken into consideration so that we can move it around and use it for meeting spaces or for student activities. And this was just something that I had to put in there because we got, I think it was March 25th, I got a text and someone had sent me this, and it was off of Facebook, and it was someone from 2012 who actually put on Facebook that they liked the deli bar, and it was such a flex, and I don't know why we were not hyping it up more than we should have been back then. We usually, as opposed to hyping things, but I just thought, and of course a lot of comments came in afterwards, but I said, wow, what an impact. Here's somebody 9 years ago who's giving the high school a shout out. So I wanted to give a shout out to my own crew, because we all know that School Lunch Hero Day is May 7th. And not only myself, but we were contacted, Mary, you can go on to the next slide, through Leadership Rhode Island. They have the heroes around here in North Kingstown, and they approached us to present to our staff these beautiful coins. They're commemorative coins that are on each side of the Leadership Rhode Island. And on May 7th, which is School Lunch Hero Day, along with a gift and the coin, they get this, they're going to be presented with this card. And it says that we are all facing some incredibly challenging days, but despite the obstacles, you continue to inspire us by your work and commitment to others. Heroes Around Here was created to honor the everyday people doing their part to help their neighbors in Canute's difficult times. On behalf of all our supporters in the Leadership Rhode Island 2020 Octopi Project team, thank you for all you do. So our department's going to be recognized on May 7th by Leadership Rhode Island. And with School Lunch Hero Day, I saw this and I had to put it in because they said you don't have to wear a cape, but there's no need for a cape when you wear an apron. So I can't say enough about my staff as far as them just constantly changing and contributing and participating to, you know, what I thought would work, but what works better. And it's been a fast year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trish. We really appreciate everything that you and your staff have done. We know it's been a really difficult year for everybody, and the part that you guys have contributed is a very big one. We really appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. Yeah, I don't think that people realize, you know, how much has changed in the food service, process this year, and how much you folks have done, as you mentioned, to address, the needs of our citizens and students, and not just in the high school, in the elementary school and the middle schools, but, working with the food pantry and the community as a whole. And I want to thank you very, very much for all the hard work you and your staff have done.
You're very welcome.
Mrs. King, could you just briefly address, because I know it's always an interesting question for people watching